One of the current F1 season's biggest mysteries is Red Bull's significant advantage while deploying the drag reduction system, or DRS. It has been noted ever since testing, but the extent of its advantage was further visible in Saudi Arabia, where the Red Bull's 2023 challenger, the RB19, seemed to make passes in rival cars much easier than their opponents, which prompted a big conversation about the nature of Red Bull's strange DRS advantage. So in today's video, we're going to try to shed some light on this so-called mystery. The drag reduction system made its first appearance in the F1 cars over a decade ago, aiming to improve the chances for overtaking. It's a system located in the rear wing of the F1 cars. Ever since their appearance all the way back to the 70s, the rear wings were used to offer the cars more downforce, as they would create more drag for the air, allowing the drivers to extract more grip in high-speed corners. The price the teams had to pay was a reduction in top speed, but with the engines becoming more and more powerful, there were gains in this department too. In 2011, the year the DRS was introduced, the teams were searching to solve the difficulties caused by the dirty air and seeked a solution in reducing the drag in the straights. The DRS allows the upper flap of the rear wing to open up, letting the airflow pass between the rear wing. It's used in some straights on each track, limitless in qualifying but not in the race, where to get the benefit from the DRS, a car must follow another one in a distance of 1 second or less. Albeit not the main reason of Red Bull's dominance in 2023, it's definitely one of the most fascinating ones, as the other teams left scratching their heads when they saw how much time they were earning from its use. It's estimated that the Red Bull has a DRS advantage of 10 to 25% to other teams depending on the track, which can be up to 30 km per hour of speed difference in the straights. So it makes it almost impossible to beat the Red Bulls in qualifying, and while they don't usually find themselves following other cars in the race when they have to do so, the other cars look defenseless. The most prominent example was Jeddah, with Max Verstappen easing his way past his opponents without even reaching the braking point. So what are the reasons for Red Bull's DRS dominance? First of all, it has to be noted that every team is restricted by the current F1 rules to a maximum gap of 85 mm between the two rear wing flaps when DRS is active. That theoretically makes it difficult to find great gains in this area, but it's not that simple. All teams usually have 3 different specs of rear wings, depending on the characteristics of each track, with some being high, some being medium, and some low downforce tracks. The team that manages to produce them first has a big advantage, and that's exactly what happened with Red Bull in the early races, when they raced with wings better suited to the specific tracks, while other teams were running almost the same wings. But it's not just that. The rear wing and its distribution of the air is a very complex system, which in general is connected with the diffuser and the floor, meaning gains can be significant if the teams maximize their performance. As for the DRS in particular, there are 3 main points in which Red Bull's rear wing design is excelling. First, it's the distance that the lower flap of the rear wing has until it reaches the lower end of the higher flap, which is the one that's moving up when the DRS is activated. If we compare the rear wing of Red Bull with the one of Mercedes, we can see that the distance is much smaller, therefore allowing for less drag when the DRS is activated, as the air that is held by the wing overall is less too. The second major point is the fact that the Red Bull rear wing also has less distance from the lower end of the higher flap to the higher end of it. That means that the Red Bull distributes the air first, as the drag that it holds is less than Mercedes' rear wing. It can be seen again in the comparison in point 2, with the 2 waves being of equal size, but as we can see, where the Mercedes rear wing uses the whole size of the wave, the Red Bull has much to spare. The final important point can be found in the middle of Red Bull's rear wing. It's that little curve in the middle of the wing that allows the air to once again move through there uninterrupted, meaning that the Red Bull is already dragging much less before the DRS flap opens up. This is shown in point 3 below, once again compared with Mercedes' wing. And once again the 2 waves are exactly the same, with Red Bull having more to spare than Mercedes. Finally, it must be noted that Red Bull's rear wing is much lighter than Mercedes, allowing the DRS to open up quicker. The differences all these points make are counted in little but significant gain in overall lap time, so the Red Bull rear wing design is indeed smart in accommodating the DRS as best as possible, but it's also the car's aerodynamic strength and its downforce in other areas that's allowing them to run with such less drag in the rear of the car. So that's the mystery of Red Bull's rear wing unveiled. Let us know in the comments below, can other teams accommodate the same design of DRS and rear wing in general in some point this year? And also make sure to subscribe to the channel to never miss an F1 design update in the future.